For every beloved race in the Skibidi toilet fandom, there's also one that's literally hated by everyone, starting with one of the most hated races in the fandom, the zombies from the Monster Up series. You see, just like the Skibidi's first outbreak in the OG-verse that almost wiped off everyone, the zombies were no different. Right from the beginning of the show, these guys have been a huge problem for the Alliance, with the Plague Doctor being their first leader. His goal was to make sure everyone got infected and to have the universe under his control. However, after successfully infecting a large number of the Alliance members, the Plague Doctor gained a very solid ground in the series with his zombie hordes attacking both the Skibidis, the Alliance, and their Titans. The Speaker Titan was first infected by these guys in the show, just moments after his debut, followed by the TV and the Camera Titan. And to be honest, this is one race no one would ever want to be part of. If we start talking about how horrible these guys looked after infection, down to so many things, it's almost like turning all our favorite Titans in the show into something else. Anyone that's infected automatically belongs to this race and becomes hated and hunted by the Alliance. As a result of all this, many of the fans' favorite Titans were killed along the line, whereas while the zombie race remained one of the most hated races in the fandom, there's one race that fans just can't stop rooting for, the Speaker race. From Dafu Boom series, Dom Studio series, and almost every other series, the Speaker race has been one of the most loved races, most especially the Speaker race from the OG-verse. Another thing that made their race a fan favorite was actually their Titans. Yeah, the Speaker Titans across the fandom have some of the coolest designs ever. I mean, check out the Battle Armor Speaker Titan and tell me what you think, not to mention the one from Dom series. And yeah, speaking of impact, they've really delivered a lot in the show across different series. Even though their Titans weren't as strong as others, their battles, contributions, and sacrifices will forever be remembered. Unlike the undead, or should I say the necromancer race from the Skibidi Wars, after the toilet necromancer and the phantom toilet betrayed the toilet emperor, they had to come up with their own group of armies. Using their underworld power, they made them undead and almost invisible in the series. One thing about this race was that they were more coordinated than the zombie race we talked about earlier. Each group of undead soldiers belonged to one unit or another, and speaking of why they rank among the top most hated races, well, this army remained the most mindless enemies the series would ever have. Their leaders were full-time betrayers and very deadly. The same was true for their members, and all of this together made it hard for fans to find this group of people satisfying in the show. But the reverse is completely the case when we talk about the camera race. In almost all the series, the camera race was the first introduced race, beginning with the ones from the OG-verse. When we speak of technology, this race was the brain behind almost all of the Alliance's tech in the show. They're very smart and helpful. A lot of things actually made them fan favorites, and it's like any Skibidi toilet series without the camera race isn't complete yet. The camera race was also the one behind our vision in every episode. The POV cameraman records both visuals and audio in every scene. From this race, we have important characters like Plunger Man, Plunger Woman, and many others that fans just can't stop loving. Yeah, kudos to all the camera races across the fandom, because without them, many successful missions wouldn't have been possible. The Camera Titan was another reason why this race can't be hated. They were always there for their race and also for other members of the Alliance. Seriously, there are just so many good things this race has done, and so many good people in the race that fans would never ever forget. But just as there are lots of good things to say about the camera race, what if I tell you there's also one race with a lot of bad things said about them? Yeah, the Astros. Although this group wasn't that common in all the series, they were mostly seen or famous in the OG-verse. Fans started hating on them when they became the main villains in the show. Before, they were more like a side threat, but along the line, they parted ways with the Skibidis and came up with their own goals. Of all the races across the fandom, it's arguably safe to say this one remained one of the most powerful. Currently, both the Skibidis and the Alliance are fighting them. The fight has led to many casualties in the series, with the TV Titan and others being lost to the Astros. But while the introduction of the Astros brought complete chaos to the OG-verse, the pencil race did the opposite. They were introduced in episode 28 of the Dom series, where they greatly assisted the Alliance in defeating the Skibidis. Apart from that scene, they've also been seen multiple times helping the Alliance in battle. Not all their top members were loved by fans though, for example C-Pen, but aside from him, I'd say their race was fully loved by fans. The pencil race was the only race to have a female Titan, the Pencil Woman, one of the most loved Titans in the show. But things completely take a dark turn when we talk about the Skibidi race, and as you can guess, they're the center of it all. This race consists of many members, both small and big, and they were initially hated because they were the main villains in the show. Beginning with the ones in the Dom series, at the start, the Alliance really had it rough with them. In episode 1, they infected the Camera Titan and turned him against his own people. Things got even worse as the story progressed. However, just like other races, they too have a Titan. And so far across the fandom, the Skibidi race from the Dom series has the most powerful Titan, the G-Man Apocalypse. Ever since the emergence of this guy, things have not been the same in the series. The first time he was confronted by some of the strongest Titans, they were completely destroyed with a single blast, but later revived by the Clock Titan. Although, as of lately, the Alliance and the Skibidis were planning to form a truce and fight together, just like in the OG-verse. Even though they're no longer enemies, that old hatred from the beginning still lingers. The storyline still paints them as one of the most hated groups in the series, and they remain the biggest threat the Alliance would ever face. But the story is completely different when we talk about the TV race. The TV race appears in all the Skibidi series, not because they're the most powerful, but because of their uniqueness, which fans just can't get enough of. They brought one unique trait that really helped both themselves and the Alliance in terms of movement and transportation. Yeah, you already know what I'm talking about, right? Another area the TV race excels in is logistics. They oversee the Alliance's movements and planning, and over time, that's earned them respect among other races. Additionally, their Titan, the TV daddies, became fan favorites because of their battle styles, designs, and overall impact. I mean, is it the battle armor TV daddy or the upgraded TV Titan from the Dom series? And don't forget how much fans love the one from the OG verse as well. So what I'm saying in essence is, in one way or another, the TV race is surely one of your favorite races. The next most hated race is the interstellar invaders. They were just like the Astros in the OG verse. At first, they were allies with the Skibidis before the chief Skibidi scientist betrayed Alpha in episode 29. Currently, both the Alliance and the Skibidis are planning to form a truce against them. From this race, we see some of the top hated characters in the show, like Alpha and the Counter Titan. Alpha became super annoying to fans after leading a group of Skibidis to destroy the Drillman base, while Counter Titan was hated right from the onset. Lately, other members of this race have started showing up, but their leader still remains unknown. As long as their mission is against the Alliance, fans will definitely continue hating them. And lastly, we just have to give a nod to the Clock race to complete the list. Yeah, we've talked about many loved races, but the love for this set of people is completely different. They were introduced early in the series and were actually the first fan-made race we got to see. They were loved for many reasons, from their unique abilities down to their designs. From the Clock race, we have many overpowered Titans in the series, and it's safe to say these guys gave the show some of its best moments ever, especially the Clock Titan. However, check out this video to know what would happen if the infected TV Titan fought against the strongest sets of G-men across the fandom. See ya.